In this episode, we talk about more and more women entering India's fast-growing gig economy. We also talk about the BJP electing Nitin Nabin, a five-time MLA from Bihar, as its national president. But we begin today by talking about a video that has raised serious allegations about the ongoing special intensive revision in Rajasthan. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. Last week, a video went viral in which a booth-level officer from Rajasthan can be seen claiming that he is under political pressure to delete hundreds of voters from the electoral rolls during the ongoing special intensive revision, a process in which voter lists are being prepared afresh. The video has triggered a major political controversy, with the Congress alleging that it is part of a larger conspiracy by the ruling BJP to remove the names of Congress supporters across the state. To understand more about the video and the reactions it has provoked, we are joined by the Indian Express's Parul Kulshrestha, who reports on Rajasthan for the paper. Parul, for those of who might not have seen it, can you describe the video that started this entire controversy?
So there's this teacher who is also a BLO, booth level officer, who was responsible for the special intensive revision process in Rajasthan. He was posted in Hawamel constituency, and there's a video went viral in which he was talking over phone to a man, and he was saying that I will not delete these names no matter what you say, and if you pressurize so much, I will kill myself. What am I supposed to do? But I will follow the rules.
मैं मरूंगा नहीं, कैदियों में बिखरूंगा, मैं बिखरे बाद मेरा बाप कोई कौन है? अब कलेक्टर साहब के सामने मरूंगा, वहीं बैठूंगा मैं धरने पे, और मैडम के सामने बैठूंगा लिस्ट को लेकर के, और मेरे बच्चों को ले जा रहा हूँ, बस्ती वालों को ले जा रहा हूँ मैं. अब देखूं तो देखा प्रशासन ने सस्पेंड कराओ मुझे, फांसी पे लटकाओ मुझे.
So this went viral, and later on they got to know that he was being pressurized to delete names from the constituencies of people who are registered voters and have been living there legally. So it created a lot of controversies in Rajasthan and in all over India.
And you actually spoke to the BLO who featured in this video, Kirti Kumar. Tell us, what did he tell you?
After the video went viral, I contacted Kirti Kumar, and he told me that he was asked to delete around 478 voters' names, and all were Muslims. And he was being pressurized to delete their name from the electoral roll. And when he objected to it, because the list was already sent earlier, these are revision that has been going on, the rectification and the complaints that you can file and all. So according to the rules, there is a form called Form 7. And in that Form 7, you can apply for the deletion of certain name of a person living in your locality on some ground that maybe he doesn't live there anymore or he's passed away. So there were 478 forms that were filled in from those constituency and from that area where this BLO was posted, and he was forced to delete the names by some BJP MLA named Suresh Pawar. And when he objected to it, finally the video went viral, and he was assured later on by the officials, his superiors, that you do your work efficiently according to the rules and nobody will pressurize you from now on.
And Parul, can you tell us a bit about the councillor? Who is he? What has he said about these allegations?
So he is a councillor of Ward 13 of Jaipur Municipal Corporation Heritage, the old city. When I contacted the councillor, he said that I have all the substantial evidences to prove that those 478 voters are fake. He has alleged that there are a lot of localities over here and many flats in his area where one house has 2 rooms, but 35 voters are registered from that house. So he is alleging that there are a lot of fake voters that have been added over the years, and these voters either don't exist or they are living in some other part of the city or in another part of the country, and they just come here to vote during the time of elections to increase the margin of Congress. That's what he alleged. So he said that even if you want me to prove, I can prove it to you, and I have all the substantial evidences, and that's why I was asking him to remove the names of the voters.
And we understand that after the video went viral, the Congress alleged it was a part of a larger conspiracy by the BJP. So what exactly has the party accused the BJP of?
So Govind Singh Dodasara, the state PCC chief, and Tikaram Juli, the leader of opposition, and MLA Rafiq Khan, Amin Kagzi, lot of MLAs and Congress leaders have come on record, and they have showed papers and proved it and brought people whose name were deleted from was not included in the SIR process. They have alleged that BJP is targeting around 25,000 votes of Congress to be cut down from each constituency of Rajasthan. So Rafiq Khan also held a press conference day before yesterday, and he said that BJP is targeting to at least delete 10,000 voters from my constituency just so that, and most of them are either Muslims and a few of them are also Dalit. And the reason is to beat them in the next election, especially the Nagar Nikai, the urban body and Panchayati Raj election that will be happening soon within a few months in Rajasthan. So they have said that fake forms were filled, pre-filled forms were given to the collector office and the BLO's office, in which name and addresses were filled, and one person has given 500 forms, 1000 forms, and his sign were forged. I had a conversation with a Congress worker in Alwar. He said that he belongs to Kishangarh Tijara area, and the SDM of the Kishangarh Tijara, he sits in Alwar Collectorate. So he went there for some work, and the moment he entered the office of his area, he saw around 10,000 forms were lying on the desk of that official. When he inquired about it, they said that someone submitted the forms. He later got to know that in his area, they are trying to delete around 10,000 people, and one person has signed for 2,000 forms. And there are a lot of times that what they have done is they have filled a form. The applicant is a Muslim, and the person against whom the form is filled is also a Muslim, just to so that there's a enmity developed between the Congress voters. When they contacted them in their villages, they all refused to acknowledge it, and they said that we are not involved in this. So that's how this issue has gotten really big. Even a person who is in Congress worker in Bardmer, he told me that a man, I got the complaint letter as well, he had filed a complaint in police station that his name was forged and his sign was forged in the letter in the forms on which a lot of Muslim names were asked to be cut down. So these are the allegations that have been coming from all over the state, and Congress has alleged that BJP is specifically targeting the Muslim and the Congress voter, which include SC, ST and Muslims. So that's what their entire allegations has been, and the press conferences have been going on for a long time.
And what does the party have to say about this? Have we heard anything from its senior leaders?
The Hawamel MLA, Bal Mukunda Charaji, under whose constituency this video went viral and the BLO threatened to commit suicide, he took a press conference on Saturday night and he said that Congress is trying to hinder the process. He said that Congress is losing their mental balance and there's no way that we are trying to delete the names. They have no proof. And he said that there have been a lot of times in the past where SIR process had done, and these kind of allegations were never made. So they have refuted the claims by Congress. Even the Prem Bhairavaji, the Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, has said that these are just allegations and Congress is just trying to interfere in the process of SIR. Even if they had done SIR 5 times in the past, this time just because BJP is doing it, they are trying to hinder it.
But Parul, what does the data say? Do we have any information from Rajasthan's chief electoral officer about all of this?
According to the data that they publish every day, around 18,000 applications were filed by BJP till now under Form 7 to delete the names. And only 2 applications were filed by Congress. So it's a very big number. Even like before the last date, I think in December, before the rectification and the doubts were invited, around 5,000 applications were submitted by BJP to delete the names. And Congress had, I think I had filed only 50-60 complaints. So that is actually already a very big number. And now they are trying to, because January 15 was the last date to submit the objections. So thousands of applications and forms have appeared in the offices of collector, SDM and BLOs. And now whatever the Congress is alleging, that they are of the mindset to delete the names of these people.
Right. And we understand that the Congress has accused BJP leader Ravi Kumar Nair of recommending the deletion of some 400 to 500 names, right?
Yeah, Ravi Nair ji was also the person who contested against Rafiq Khan MLA from Adarsh Nagar constituency for BJP. So he's told me almost on the similar line of Suresh Seni that there are many voters that are registered in my area who don't even live here. They are voters of UP or Bihar, and they have registered their names in voter list, and they only appear during the time of elections. And they vote in Rajasthan, but they also vote in the native places that they live. And he said that there is a large voter conspiracy that has been going on because of the Congress, and he is just trying to rectify the mistake. And he refuted all the claims that BJP is targeting the Muslim voters. He said that BJP is targeting the fake voters that have been created over the years. So there have been a lot of cases where people have caught those people who have submitted the forms. They are protesting in every district. BJP leaders and their MLAs are already protesting in every district. And a lot of information has been coming from district headquarters where these forms have been submitted. And officials are not coming on record to say that this is submitted by BJP. They say that somebody came 2 days back and he just submitted these forms in our offices. So there have been a lot of cases like that.
And over the past couple of months, we have been hearing cases where BLOs have been saying they are under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. Have cases like these emerged in Rajasthan as well?
Yeah, I think 2 BLOs committed suicide and one died of heart problem. And the reason is one BLO had written it in a suicide letter that he was pressurized a lot to complete that work on the given time. And yes, they have been pressurized a lot. Earlier, I did a story for the Express on the pressure and the day I spent with the BLO. And she said that earlier they wanted us to do 100 forms per day, which after the suicide and all, it got down. And they are now asked to do at least 50 forms a day. But the thing is, this form process is very tedious. They have to fill the form and all the information. And people also, majority of the time, don't know how to fill the form. So they wait for the BLO to come and teach them how to fill the form and put every correct information. They have to check their names in the 2002 list and the last time when the SIR process happened. So it's a very tedious and a very long process. So submitting 50 forms a day was a big task for BLOs. A lot of them are also not very tech savvy. The older ones. So it was a very big task and a lot of them suffered a lot due to this. So yes, there have been cases of BLO registering that they have been harassed, and their teachers organization, the Union of Teachers in Rajasthan, have also said on record multiple times that BLOs and teachers all over the state are harassed, and because of the SIR process, the exam and the school functioning in the Rajasthan is also hampered.
And Parul, tell us, how do we see this controversy unfolding now? And what is the position it has put the BJP in?
So whatever information that I've got from the field, BJP is right now at a defensive mode because this video went viral and it actually did a lot of harm to them because BLO was stating openly that he has been pressurized to delete the names. And all these forms that have been submitted, the proof that was given to the media, a lot of people have come forward who said that we are living here for a long time. Like there's a Congress councillor who is currently the councillor from Adarsh Nagar Vidhan Sabha, and he said that his name was not included in the SIR. When he inquired, the only thing he got to know that because he's a Muslim and a supporter from Congress and a Congress councillor, BJP is trying to get rid of him. So there are a lot of such cases, but yeah, just because they have submitted the forms, it is on now on the duty of Election Commission to verify them and add or delete the name as per the rules. So it's on them. What are they going to do about it? But there have been a lot of forms and now it's all on the Election Commission. How are they going to deal with it?
And next, we talk about how more and more women are entering India's fast-growing gig economy. These days in Noida, under an overbridge or beside a pavement, you can find women sitting together, sipping tea from plastic cups and waiting for their phones to buzz. That buzz decides where they'll go next, how long they'll work, and how much they'll earn that day. They are part of India's fast-growing gig economy, working for app-based household services platforms that promise convenience to customers and flexibility to workers. For many of these women, the shift has brought something rare, a more predictable income. But that predictability comes at a cost. Long waiting hours with no shade or toilets, constant ratings and penalties, the anxiety of entering unfamiliar homes, and the stigma of being seen in uniform. So what does flexibility really mean in a world where the algorithm decides where you're going to work next? And who bears the cost of that convenience? To break these questions down, my colleague Ichha Sharma spoke to the Indian Express's Saman Husain in this segment.
Someone you recently wrote about women entering the gig economy through apps that offer household services. So, could you start by telling our listeners what problems these domestic work platforms claim to solve? And also, when did you first notice this shift?
So these apps claim to solve 3 big problems when it comes to household work. Number 1 is the unreliability of domestic help. Then there is the lack of standardization when it comes to domestic work. And then the third problem is last minute demand of domestic help. So they promise that there will be quick access to workers, that there will be a transparent pricing, and that they'll have a professional experience with their house helps. So these house helps can be called often within minutes. For example, the company Snabit promises that the house helps will reach their doorstep 10 minutes within an order is placed. So it can be especially of help when regular help is on leave, or when during peak times like festival there is a need of extra help at home. We began noticing this shift around 23-24. So this was the time when platforms like Snabit and Pronto had entered cities. They first entered in Mumbai and Bangalore, and this shift in Noida and Gurgaon has been more recent. So what we see is that when you're traveling through the society-heavy sectors of Noida and Gurgaon now, you will see women dressed in these pink and green uniforms sitting on the pavements, or maybe some of them might be driving an electric bike with a huge bag on their backs.
Right, and many of the women you spoke to said that pay felt better than previous jobs, say factories and other gigs they had done. So what are the common reasons women gave for choosing this kind of platform work?
So more predictable income was the most common reason. So a lot of the women who work for these platforms used to earlier also work as house helps, but that was back when they were not working through a proper channel. So in that case, they would be fired without notice on a lot of instances. And during those months, they would struggle quite a bit. So many of these women who had also not worked as house helps are choosing to work for these platforms now, because they're saying that their earnings have nearly doubled. They used to earlier work at factory lines, or like I mentioned, some of them were previously also working as domestic work or other informal service jobs. One of them said that she was working as a receptionist before this, and all of these jobs were not paying them more than 16,000 a month. So several of these women also said that they prefer working in a new house every day rather than being tied to the same household, because when they're working for the same household, after a particular point of time, the power dynamics turn into something that is very abusive, they said. Thirdly, these platforms offer incentives and bonuses. There are weekend rates that are much higher than usual rates. There are bonuses for an early login. There are also rating-based rewards, which makes them feel that their income is now much more structured than it was before. Especially younger women, a lot of young women who are just above 18 are choosing to work for these platforms because they have a sense of mobility. They feel that they're not being limited to one household, and that they feel that this job would not turn into a lifelong bondage to one employer.
And someone speaking of the pay, you highlight that workers say they earn 1,000 rupees for a 12-hour day. So what do those 12 hours actually include? Like, what does a typical day look like?
So apart from cleaning, the 12 hours that they have to be on duty every day, it includes logging into the app early for bonus, waiting sometimes for hours on the pavements to receive an assignment, because these apps, like I said, are much more recent in Gurgaon and Noida. So sometimes there aren't a lot of orders, especially when there is no demand. They just have to sit on the pavement and wait for an order. Whenever they get an order, they have a team leader. So that team leader basically helps them reach the household from where the order is. So it also includes traveling from one society to another. Some of them, especially those who work for Pronto, they carry their own kits around the city. Those who can drive, they use mostly electric vehicles. Pronto has hubs where they have to go to whenever they need to charge their vehicle battery. For Snabit, it includes sitting outdoors, sometimes with no shade, toilet facilities are difficult, so they have to use public toilets. There's lack of resting space as of now. But the company spokesperson has said that it's an evolving model and it's very recent as of now. But they're making arrangements so that these issues do not persist in future.
Right, and you mentioned earlier how workers face abusive behavior. So if you could talk a bit about that and tell us, what do workers say, about how vulnerable they can be inside a customer's home?
So there was a difference in between how different workers were looking at this. Some had very sad incidents to narrate. So one of the workers described that she was forced to remove her sweaters because the customer thought that she's stolen her husband's phone. And then eventually they found the phone was just cuddled up in their blanket. So the accusations of thefts are something that are way more common. The workers who worked as domestic helps before, they said that there were accusations of theft, or there was a lot of the customers looking at them with suspicion before as well. But ever since they've started working with this platform, it has somewhat increased because even the customers do not know the house helps. So they are extremely suspicious of their activities. Some of them said that they're made to clean extremely dirty toilets that look like they've not been cleaned in 15 to 20 days. Or they're asked to scrub men's underwear, which they are extremely uncomfortable doing. So these were some of the experiences that they shared. But at the same time, they also told me that as soon as their work shift is done with, there are company executives who are tracking them and monitoring their GPS location at all times. So as soon as the work shift is done with, they get a call from the company asking them that where are they, when are they going to leave. So yeah, there is a lot of monitoring also that takes place when it comes to this platformized house help service.
And also, when a worker complains about a customer, how does the system work then?
So in theory, these complaints go through the app via team leader, the same leader who is tasked with the responsibility to ensure that the house helps are reaching the location on time. So he's like a local supervisor who is managing a team of workers who are appointed to work in a specific area. Yeah, so in practice, there is a team leader who is mostly a male who is present to ensure that no conflict escalates beyond repair. And other than that, the spokespersons of these apps also said that they ensure that no action is taken against any of their workers without any proof. So they ensure that abusive customers are not abusing their workers.
And some companies insist that workers are independent contractors. So what does the independent contractor status actually mean for, access to labor protections? And how do companies justify this?
So being classified as an independent contractor means that workers are not legally entitled to any minimum wages, and that paid leaves are not allotted, though the workers said that they do get a weekly leave. So on that day, they can take a day off and sit at home. It depends on them when they want to take that weekly paid off. Of course, there are no maternity benefits in this case, and there are no guaranteed rest hours as well. So if tomorrow the demand for these platformized housemate increases, then there might be a situation that since they have to log in for 12 hours, then they might also have to work for 12 hours without the 1,000 rupee pay being increased. So these are the problems with the tag of being an independent contractor. So the spokespersons for the companies have said that these workers are classified as their partners. That's what they refer to them as. And that they're not employees per se. and that they can log in and log out, and then their incentives and benefits depend on how much they can manage to gather during the 12 hours of work by doing good work or whatever. So the spokesperson of Pronto said that these bonuses ensure that they're able to earn up to 45,000 a month. With like the bonuses and everything, the salary can add up to that much amount.
And an interesting thing you write is that some women don't want to be seen as domestic workers in public. So talk about how uniforms have become such a sensitive issue for some of the women you spoke to.
So a lot of these women were extremely upset about having to wear a uniform. So that is a lived experience that is not very pleasant for a lot of them, because for a lot of them it tags them as a house help wherever they're traveling with that uniform. And since it's a new model, a lot of people ask them that what do they do. A lot of these women said that when they're going back home, they have to ensure that they're changing the uniform first. They have to find a place where they can do that, and then they go back home, because a lot of them have not told their husbands, their neighbors, their family members about what exactly they're doing. But they're doing it because they're earning much better. So there is something good that is also coming out of it. Like one of the women said that she was just 21-year-old and she said that I'll be able to earn enough and save enough कि मैं अपनी शादी खुद करा सकूंगी, that I can manage my wedding expenses on my own. But at the same time, being tagged as a house help in public is something that also raises a lot of questions, they said, with a platform like this, because they're going to an anonymous person's house on a daily basis. So they said that there are a lot of questions that are raised about the uniform specifically.
Right, and talking about uniforms, a lot of gig workers, like those who work for urban company, have to pay for their uniforms. Is that the case here as well?
So they said that there was an enrollment fee of sorts. So in that, the kit and the uniform, everything is given to them. But they said that they also get money if they refer someone to the platform. So it was around 4,000 rupees that they said for a referral, and they go through a whole training school before they start working for the platform. So they narrated all that they've been taught at these training schools, how to operate a washing machine, how to operate a microwave, things that they might not have at their own households, how to dress up, how to tie their hair neatly. They told me that they're asked to put some moisturizer every day, a little bit of lip balm, ensure that their bindis are not too big, that their jewelry is not very heavy. So all of these things they're taught.
Right, so the company wants them to look a certain way while they're on the job.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking to this one group who sits in Sector 100 in Noida. They sit under this flyover, an underbridge of sorts they sit under. So they just pointed me towards this poster of like the Snapbit poster in which there's a woman posing. And they're like, yeah, एकदम ऐसा दिखना है, तो clean रहना है, tidy रहना है. So they have almost memorized these things. So they make sure they're doing that. How to greet the customers is something that is taught to them.
And many gig workers associated with, say, Uber or Swiggy say that they are penalized when they cancel orders. Is that something they face too?
So some of them said that they've worked with similar models before that were pioneering in this platformization of house help. But their problem was that they were penalizing them for not working for sufficient hours a day. Here they say that it's not the case. Instead, there is a positive reinforcement model where if they're doing something well, then they'll get a bonus. If they're not doing something well, then the bonus will not be there.
And in the end, we talk about the BJP's new president. Yesterday, after a day-long nomination process at the BJP headquarters, Nitin Nabin was elected as the party's 12th national president. Having previously served as the BJP's national working president, Nabin was the sole candidate and, in line with party's tradition, was elected unopposed. Nabin is the youngest leader to head the BJP, succeeding JP Nanda, who had been in the post since January 2020. The leadership change comes as the BJP prepares for a major organizational overhaul ahead of assembly elections in states such as West Bengal, Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Beyond these immediate contests, Nabin will also be tasked with steering the party towards the 2029 Lok Sabha elections, which will take place amid key changes including delimitation and the implementation of a 33% women's quota in parliament and state assemblies. Born on the 23rd of May 1980 in Ranchi, Jharkhand, Nabin is the son of senior BJP leader Nabin Kishore Prasad Sinha, a 4-time MLA from Patna West. Nabin himself is a 5-time MLA from Bihar and is currently representing the Bankipur constituency. In the Nitish Kumar-led Bihar government, Nabin has held several key portfolios, including road construction, urban development and housing, and law and justice. His tenure focused on infrastructure, urban housing initiatives, and welfare schemes. A product of BJP's youth wing, Nabin previously served as National General Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and as its Bihar State President. He has also handled organizational responsibilities in Sikkim and Chhattisgarh. In December 2025, he was appointed National Working President, a move widely seen as paving the way for his elevation to the party's top organizational post. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's episode was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by Ichha Sharma, Shashank Bhargava and me, Niharika Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Podcast and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.